as well. Thank you so much, Nara Lokeji, for taking the time to be here with us today. And we have a really exciting discussion because I remember this, when we first met, and I remember your vision for Andhra, for Manamitra that we talked about for the state of Andhra. And what you had talked at that time was one single WhatsApp number for all citizen services. And your goal was really simple, which was to simplify governance and enhance, citizen service accessibility. So could you talk about how you came up with this idea to begin with? Because this was quite transformative because we were having some pilots, but this was the next leap.
No, thank you, Sandhya, for hosting me. The idea came about when I did my Padayatra, where citizens would ask me that I would push a button and I get groceries to home, or I get a taxi, or I can watch a movie. So why is government not proactive in delivering services? So it was actually an electoral promise that I made during my Padayatra that we'll bring all the citizen services onto a single platform, a number, and deliver on the promise of ease of living. So that's where this idea came about. So it was inspired by the experience that people of Andhra Pradesh were actually having across various other technology platforms. And then I realized that everyone loves WhatsApp in India. And that's when we reached out to Meta.
Yes.
And then we started the discussion.
And I remember the aggressive timeline you put as well for us. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
I'm sure my Chief Minister will be watching this and I'll get into a lot of trouble. We agreed to do this project in 60 days. It took us 90 days to launch. So if all of you have followed, Andhra is known for speed of doing business. But yes, I think we've started in the right direction. And I think we've really solved the basic problems that our citizens today face.
And I think just in terms of from the genesis of an idea to actual implementation, and trust me, 90 days is very fast, but Manamitra scaled rapidly. We started with 160 services in Feb last year, and now it's almost 900 citizen services and, increasing every day. A significant expansion, if I may say that, across multiple departments, all in a very short period of time. So would love to hear your, insights into the journey because it's very rapid growth. A little about, as you think about bringing all of these services online and your vision for this one number citizen services, a bit about the internal processes, the technologies and collaboration that would have had to be enabled, because I think we are a platform which enables it, but actually the real work gets done in the back end in terms of processes. And what mindset shifts were necessary? Because there was that as well, right? Because multiple different government teams, stakeholders, to transition from a very traditional service delivery to a citizen-centric digital, approach. And I think would love to hear from you on key learnings, key challenges, and how you approach this, because at the heart of it, it's still a simple solution to use.
I think biggest challenge is internal politics. Every department would like to control the experience, control data. But what makes things unique in Andhra Pradesh is we have something called real-time governance. It's actually a ministry. And I happen to be the minister of it. This is something our Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, envisaged way back in 2016-17. And ever since, it's taken different forms. But now we've come out with a new avatar. But the biggest challenge was to bring everyone to come, sit, discuss, and then open up their AIs. So technology is merely an enabler of change, but real change should actually happen culturally. The cultural shift is important. So that's where I had to sit with the various ministers, ministries, secretaries to have a very open conversation that this is going to be a politically important subject for us. This is the mandate of our Honorable Chief Minister and we need to get it done. Then we had to work department by department. We said, first let's get the high sort of traffic services going and then work backwards to the more niche services which are used occasionally but are important for that few citizens who want to use it. So it was building that consensus, and of course, when we launched, the success that we've sort of delivered on the first 100-odd services, that really enabled us. It was a catalyst for every department to say, aha, this works, and this can transform.
Yeah.
And then this was part of our discussion in every cabinet meeting where the Chief Minister would also say that, okay, you're launching this service, make it WhatsApp first. So that's the approach that we've taken as a state. And I believe this is just the beginning. Before I came for the session, we were talking about how can we now go from menu-based to more AI-driven. How can you use, conversational AI? How can we use, of course, your call center, agentic AI, and deliver these services and build trust on the platform further? So, in that sense, I think the most important thing for all the secretaries here to the policymakers here is that political will is going to be very, very important to deliver this.
In fact, I remember one meeting where we had come down to Amravati as well, and I think the mandate was very clear from the Honorable Chief Minister and from you, sir, around how we make this across all departments, not make it small in scope, but over a period of time really add more and more services. And you're right, I think that kind of will across multiple departments with your leadership was really helpful.
No, I think if I can add, this is a question that I keep asking my team. So I'm also the HRD minister. I keep telling them, keep the child as center of our universe. And then look at it from a policy. It puts things in perspective. Similarly, in RTG, I said, let's put the citizen as center of our universe, not the chief minister. General tendency is, what is the reports he needs or what do we need to do? I said, flip it. Let's keep the citizen as center of our universe. And then as departments, we're here to serve the citizen. And that sort of changed our entire thought process.
And the team really came together.
And they all came together. And of course, we continue to fight. Some of them resist change. A few of the temples are not yet on the platform. So it's a constant struggle that we'll have. But, greater part of the services have now come on board.
Awesome. And over the past months, since we launched Manamitra, what kind of feedback have you directly received from citizens and district officers on the ground? I know your WhatsApp keeps blowing up with feedback and messages. Are there any memorable examples or stories where a citizen reached out to you directly and shared about how their life was significantly transformed by accessing public services?
I think, hall tickets, I happen to be the HRD minister, so hall tickets, I didn't know, was so cumbersome. So this idea came from my citizens saying that, why don't you make it WhatsApp enabled from day one? And that simple transformation made it so much more easy for our kids to access hall tickets, and they didn't have to go to any other center or take printouts. It was so seamless. And I could see a flurry of messages that came after we launched this saying, thank you so much. It saved time, it saved energy, and this kind of summer, we don't need to go out. So it really helped in that sense. The other areas, paying utility bills was really transformative. And I continue to get feedback across board, where citizens, they get to know my number, they share their feedback, and they're very appreciative of our services. But what's even more exciting is once the citizen avails a service, we have a mechanism where we collect feedback from the citizen.